one podcast, mining the Magic the Gathering community for salt. This is the Howling Salt Mine.
It's the Howling Salt Mine. The Howling Salt Mine.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Howling Salt Mine podcast, the podcast where we delve into those salty mines of the Magic the Gathering community, find the salty stories, the salty posts that we love, put them in our mine cart, and bring them right back up to you, our dear prospectors at home. As always, I'm your host, Sam, and I'm joined by my two lovely co-hosts, Mike and Tony. Say hey, guys.
What up?
Hello, indeed. And before we go any further, you know we got to shout them out, our nice tier patrons. And this week we have Alex, Balix, and ZZ. Thanks for being so nice, y'all.
Nice.
So what's new, guys? You guys have a fun New Year's Eve?
I am a little sick.
Yeah, Mike has been sick
brother.
since before Christmas. Because of your brother? You got it from your brother?
No. It's one of my all-time favorite TikToks. Well, I guess not TikToks, Reels.
A Vine, perhaps?
It's it's basically a Vine. I'm gonna share it right now because everybody knows that's what good audio content is. It's three people sharing reels with each other that nobody else can listen to. This is genuinely my favorite reel I've ever seen.
Watching it now.
I'm doing that thing that I do. I listen without sound.
You're listening without sound? That's the
I
whole
didn't.
fucking
It's
You
point.
can't do that.
No, I understand. I clicked it on my fucking.
It's so cursed. It's really good, though.
What is up,
Really
my
making
mammals?
good use of the
The fisheye lens,
fisheye lens.
incredible use of the fisheye lens.
Yeah, it's incredible. We'll include this in the show notes, folks, so you're not fully in the dark.
So whenever I'm sick, it's never actually my brother's fault, but I do usually end up
That's what you
saying
think of,
I am
yeah.
a little sick because my brother gave me his disease.
That's a bummer, man. So you didn't do shit for New Year's Eve.
No, I hung out with my family. Probably got all of them sick. I literally called my mom before we started driving down. I was like, "Hi, I'm gonna show up sick." And she was like, "That's okay. Other people are showing up sick." And we were like, "Cool."
That's, in my family, we're like, "Oh, you have a sniffle? Please don't come.
Yeah,
Like, do not come
Stay
here."
away.
we're at a point where like there's 6 little kids, so
Yeah.
So
somebody's
somebody's always sick.
So it's
Yeah,
like
it's always
if that was
something.
our rule, we just wouldn't see each other, and we want to see each other. So,
Yeah, you got
so
some kind
I
of...
did stay up till midnight. That I'm sure helped me heal. And but yeah, I played one of the most complicated board games I've ever played.
Oh, really?
It was called Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, SETI for short.
Oh, wow.
Did you find it?
Yeah, both of the times we found it. In fact, you always find it, which is cool.
Wow.
That sounds kind of easy then, actually, if you
It's-
always find it.
Yeah, well, it's like it's
And
a
it can't be that
space
complicated if
exploration
you always
game.
fucking find it. So maybe you guys are just dumb. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, that's a good point. Tony. I think you would not be able to play it.
Wow.
I think you would get
Because
so
it's so
upset
fucking
on
dumb.
the 15th page of the 27-page rule book that you would stop and not play it.
If you couldn't explain it in under 5 minutes, then I probably would not. And 5 minutes is
I'm
a
not even
long
going to
amount of
try to.
time.
Like,
Like,
I'm not even
yeah.
going to try.
No, I
I
meant
told
in
you the
a-
premise. It would be like one of our longest stray grains in history if I tried to give an explanation of the rules. So I'm not going to do
it
that.
sounds
but
like
it was
the-
a banger, that's for sure.
Oh, I was
have
like
to
the
look
bane
this
of my
up.
existence.
See, because I'm the opposite. When I hear 30 pages of rules, I'm like, that sounds pretty good. Is
It
there a
did
glossary?
It does have, it has a symbols dictionary. So
Oh.
there is a glossary. Yeah, I know that. I knew that would get you. But it does have an interesting thing in terms of game timing. It explicitly says that the game is, you know how often it'll have like 2 to 3 hours or whatever, 1 to an hour and a half, hour to hour and a half or something. This
Mhm.
one specifically is 40 minutes per player. which is kind of neat.
Oh,
Interesting that
that's
it scales with player count.
Huh.
It's also definitely more like an hour and 20 minutes per player when you're all figuring it out. So that's
Yeah.
a good experience. But man, it was great.
Ooh, wow. That's a complex board state. I'm looking at some pictures
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, there's
a
three
lot
boards.
of cards.
There's 3 boards right off the rip. There's your
Damn.
solar system board, your planetary board, and then the board is. I'm gonna. You know what?
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's
gonna
rotating
explain it.
pieces.
I was
Holy
gonna say, I thought you
fuck.
weren't explaining it, and now he's immediately explaining it.
There's all these boards, and so it's set in our solar system, and you're like launching probes from Earth, and you send things out, and everywhere, like all the things you can do have ways of getting you these like traces of alien life, and then eventually you uncover alien life,
Like
and
your
then
scouts and
and you're just going for like points, very much like I don't know, terraforming Mars or something, which is another great board game where like all of the actions you do, like a lot of them might have like 3 points or 7 points attached to them and stuff like that. So as you go, you're going through that. And then it has like different rounds. And when everyone can't do something for a round, you go on to the next round. So it's like there's 5 rounds of that. It's just excellent.
How many of you played this game?
3 of us. 3 of
Nice.
us. It's the board game crew with my family is me, my brother-in-law James, and my sister-in-law Lauren. And then my siblings will step in sometimes. My parents will play one here and there. But if we're sitting down to play the new game that was brought, it's usually the 3 of us. Or like 9 p.m. the kids are in bed. Someone's chatting, yapping it up on the couch, and then the 3 of us are like, "Oh, is it time?
Is it board game
Are we
time?
about to go spend 6 hours learning a board game and then playing it twice in a row?"
That's the fucking best, man. I love that.
Yeah,
That is super, super fun. I played some board games on New Year's Eve as well. Me and a bunch of friends got a house down in Newport, right along the water, which is fucking sick, by the way. So my friend Georgie works at Harvard, and she, like, one of her coworkers was like, "Oh yeah, I have a house like down in Newport that I Airbnb out. You guys could just have it for the weekend."
Oh,
So it
for
was
New Year's Eve weekend?
yeah. So
That's wild.
So we paid, between 5 of us, we paid $150, which is just the cleaning fee.
Yeah.
yeah,
And it was
Yeah.
like walking distance to all these bars and shit. And
that's sick.
had a lovely dinner with oysters and fancy
Did you
food
like go
and all
out
that
to
kind of
bars
shit.
and stuff, or did you just go back to the B&B?
We went out and had like a nice dinner with a ton of drinks, and then went back, and we had all brought like pre-mixed cocktails in like bottles and stuff. I brought like a paper plane in a liter of pre-mixed paper
That's what you're
planes.
talking about, pre-batching paper
Yeah.
planes.
And I didn't drink them all, so I'm drinking one right now.
Nice.
And then Caroline brought like margs, and they had martinis. And yeah, we just got.
How dirty were they?
They were pickle juice martinis, so they're pretty fucking dirty. And it was a great time, man. And we played Bang Dice, which is not a sex game. I know a lot of
Nice.
people
Bang Dice is great.
you do think it's a sex game when you hear it, but it's not. It's like I think I've explained it before. It's
I feel like
got
when
like
we
a
played
Yahtzee
it was
rule.
very sexual.
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
It's true.
that's because you were there and you
Yeah,
kept saying
that's
things.
also true.
Yeah.
You kept
saying
looking the
strange
dice.
things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then Sam would always be like, "Oh, me next, me next."
It's because I just wanted to take more turns. But that's a really fun game. If people don't know it, it's sort of like a Old West shootout, and you're rolling dice and shooting each other. And it's a hidden rolls game. It's very, very fun. And then we played this game called, hold on, let me look it up, the name exactly.
Slutty Dice, also not a sex game.
So then we played a game, yeah. Slutty dice.
And we also played Screwing Each Other Dice, which is surprisingly also not a
yeah.
sex game.
And we played, it was called Sloppy Fucking
And
Cards.
we played Rummy Cube, and we were just fucking the whole time.
Rummy Cube. Yeah, if you haven't played Rummy Cube, it's explicitly a game about fucking. So we played this game called Think in Sync, and it's funny because like we all love board games. When we go down to the, like, whenever this crew hangs out, is me, Caroline, my friend Maddie, my friend Mark, and Mark's wife Georgie, and we've all just been hanging out, together for decades now, and we always love to get together and play board games. But like, we got there and just drank a little bit, and then went out to dinner and drank a lot, and then came back and just like did not have the capacity for all the complicated board games we got. So we played Bang Dice, and that was about as complicated as it could get. And that's a pretty fucking simple game.
Yeah.
And then we played Think in Sync. And it's basically a game where it's a super simple game. So you have a deck of cards, and each card has a topic. And you have two people every round. You're trying to get them to say the same thing. So the topic will be like fruit. And you'll say like a fruit that's sour. 3, 2, 1. And then they have to try to say the same thing at the same time. And if they don't, you move on to the next one. And it's 4 items on each card. And each person gets a point for how many they are in sync on. And then you like shift it over by one more person. So the next person that goes is one of the people from the last round and the person sitting next to them. So just slowly goes around the table. And the person who's pulling cards and calling it out also rotates around the table. Wicked fun game, incredibly silly game. And man, when you get it right, it feels fucking amazing.
Yeah.
When you're saying the same shit, because sometimes you
And
just
when you
know.
don't, I feel like you're a fucking idiot, and it ruins friendships.
Well, when
or
someone,
marriages.
the only things that we got like wild about, like big reactions about, were when someone would say something so out of left field. Like me and Mark had a round that was fruit, like my example, and the question was a fruit that's sour.
Yeah.
So I said lemons, and Mark said ugly fruit, and I was like, "What the fuck even is
Why would you
that?
say
Why
ugly
would you
fruit?
say that? Why would you say
Yeah.
lemons or limes, man? Like the 2 most common sour fruits." So there's a lot of shit like that where someone would be like, I don't know, bumblebees. And we're like, bumblebees? What the fuck are you talking about?
Vicious killers? Dude, what do you mean?
But that was a really fun game. And we stayed up, watched the ball drop. And then I mostly just played Mario Kart until like 2 a.m.
Nice.
Did it have cable? Were you able to? Did you watch it on cable? How did you watch the stream?
We had a laptop and connected it to the TV and streamed it.
Yeah.
Nice. I did wind up staying up. I had a much more chill version of New Year's. I was at home with my girlfriend, and we honestly just drank a couple bottles of champagne, a bunch of martinis. We were like pretty fucked up, but like having a good time, and just like had some charcuterie. And then I was trying to put the fucking ball on, and
Okay.
oh my God, I hate you.
The prosthetic one that you keep.
Yes,
Trying to,
exactly.
trying to get,
So after I put the ball on, then I was trying to put the New Year's Eve ball on.
The gag ball.
yeah.
Ball gag.
And so I like, you could stream it on YouTube, but it seemed to be, I was like, this can't be actually it. Like the actual
it's
like
not.
whole thing, right? Like the whoever, Ryan Seacrest and like Dick Van Dyke or whoever, like do the thing every year. Like
I
it's
love Dick
not
Van
that.
Dyke's coverage of the ball drop.
But neither one of those. So it's like definitely
No,
the
I
B
totally know what you
team.
mean. Like Anderson Cooper and like all like the famous
Yeah,
people
yeah.
getting like tanked on camera. Like you gotta like pay cable to be able to watch that.
Yeah.
You do, unless like you figure out other ways. But we kept trying to find anything to watch that would be like okay, and all the free things that you could just stream to the TV naturally were like trash.
Yeah,
And
they're
then
terrible.
I was like, wait, what about because there's one point when we were watching and there's nothing happening. You're listening to the music, it's playing nothing on the screen, and you're listening to the show that's getting played like next door.
Yikes.
It's like what the fuck. So then I was like, wait, maybe there's somebody on Twitch streaming it.
Surely.
And so then
Oh, of course.
I
dude.
found like the most random dude. I wish I could remember Cryptic something.
Trilobite?
It was me, somebody else, and this dude in this
You're
stream.
only two?
No way.
He's like, "What's up,
3
chat?"
viewers.
There
Like
were
just small enough that small
Three
enough
in the
that they're
chat
not
where you
getting
chatted?
DMCA'd.
There was no chat, which was honestly kind of great because then he wasn't talking. So he was just sort of sitting in the corner and he had
He was
like
cucking your ball drop.
Nice. That's when you
And-
got the ball.
and honestly it was kind of great. She's like, I don't know what the fuck this is, but this works. This like does what we want it to.
So we definitely didn't watch the official ball drop. I should say that like Caroline and I have a long tradition of refusing to ever pay to watch the regular ball drop. So we always watch like the ball drop event that's happening like 2 streets over. And the one that we saw this year was like, it's the Planet Fitness stage. And they had like some random like B tier musicians come on, and someone came on and sang like, I don't know, some Happy New Year song, and it was like fucking horrible. And that is our tradition. Is like, I want to see a terrible musician and unhappy people that are cold as the ball drops.
We were on the Planet Fitness
Hell yeah, dude.
nice.
It's great.
thing before when I was like, that was literally when I was like, we're listening to the music from the other
better.
stage. I can't do
That's
this
so funny.
because there was like 10 minutes left. I was like, we're gonna sit here for 10 minutes watching this shit. Like, are you
Dude,
fucking kidding me?
you missed the horrible singer that came on. She was
I
awful.
saw one beforehand. It was bad.
Was there a horrible singer during the final moments of the
I think
year?
there was, yeah. But you know, they stopped singing for the actual like final minute of the ball drop.
Oh, were they doing Imagine?
Yeah, it was the Imagine. It was the Imagine cover. That's what it
Nice.
was. It was
Somebody was doing
it was
bad
so
Imagine
bad.
cover.
And she was just like, she was really just over singing it like, imagine there's no worry, you know, shit like
Nice.
that.
I love that.
It was
Can you
wild.
imagine?
And she seemed so unhappy.
Were you just deep in your game, Mike? Is that where you were at when the ball was dropping?
No, we were just hanging out in chat. Actually, we played I've talked about Taskmaster before on this series.
Yeah.
We had brought some like Christmas Taskmaster crackers. So Taskmaster put out this box where they had a bunch of different tasks, and they were built. They're actually made to do around like the Christmas table. We definitely needed to read the rules before we did it, and we didn't. So I kind of like goofed a little bit on that part. But it was basically like a bunch of tasks, you know, that were pretty doable in a house that would have been like silly little show tasks or like final tasks or something that they would have done in the studio for the episodes.
Yeah.
And so we were just sitting around doing those from like 9 until, I don't know, maybe 10 until like the ball dropped.
That sounds fun.
I think we wrapped up a little bit before that and then hung out for the rest of the ball drop. But I think we pulled it up on a phone just through YouTube. Like we did not have it on a TV.
Well,
Yeah.
like we were streaming it on the TV through the internet, and we realized after the ball dropped that it was like there was like a minute of lag, and we had already had like the ball had already dropped, and we were like, "Oops!" Like, well,
Yeah.
I think it's already New Year's.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. We had the opposite where we were watching a clock, and then we saw the clock go, and then like 3 minutes later, the ball dropped, and we were like,
Yeah.
I guess
I
we'll
should've done
smooch
that.
our spouses again.
Yeah, I should have done that. But yeah, it was a good time. So like New Year's Eve was the first time that Caroline and I left Evelyn at home with like overnight babysitters. Like my grandparents
Wow.
came and like spent the night and took care of her overnight. And you know, we've gone out for date nights and stuff, so they are very comfortable putting her to bed, feeding
Her
her.
grandparents.
But you make it
her-
home usually.
Yeah, sorry, her grandparents, my parents.
Yeah.
But yeah, we always make it home. See, it's weird now because they're not mom and dad anymore. They're Grammy and Grampy now, and even I have to call them that. Like,
Yeah.
I can't call them mom and dad anymore because I'm dad.
Right.
It's like a weird
Yeah.
thing, and like I remember it growing
I thought
up.
you were daddy.
Where I am. It's well,
That's just
it's
to
like
us, Mike.
it's
Oh,
like dad
okay.
dad. I guess it's like dad and daddy interchangeable. Evelyn doesn't really do like the hard consonant end quite yet, but that'll
Yeah,
come at
nice.
some point.
That'll serve her well.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was like a really interesting piece of the weekend was, or I guess it was like the middle of the fucking week, but was them like coming down and staying and us like having an actual night away where we could just truly cut loose and like not have to be like, oh, well, after going out to dinner, we have to drive back and all that kind of stuff. So it was
Yeah.
really, really fun. And Caroline's had like 2 weeks off from work. It's been great. We've just been having a lot of fun. You know what I realized though is that my fucking magic collection's in horrible disarray. I tried to find a dark ritual, which I know I have like 20. Could not fucking find it. Had to take it out of a deck that I already had built. It's like I had to find it for my Secret Santa deck and just fucking could not find one. I was
That was
like,
bad.
come on, man. No dark rituals in this fucking house? This is
I've got
crazy.
a lot of dark rits.
I do feel like dark writs are one of those ones where it's like you might feel like you have a million because it's such a staple in your head, but then it
Yeah.
turns out you have like 4.
I
I
think-
know I have a bunch.
Yeah, I
'Cause I
mean,
was
I
just
definitely
looking.
at least have 4. I at least have 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's been bad. I've been like literally right now, there's a huge fucking pile behind me. Let me see if I can show you.
I mean, I see.
It's bad, dude.
No organization to those boxes. Not by
No,
color
not at
or
all.
anything.
Nothing. And then look at my
Christ.
fucking.
I wouldn't even bother looking.
Yikes.
Look at this shame over here. Just this
Yeah.
big shame pile.
Look at that.
I mean, the
shame
only thing
pile.
that keeps the rooms semi-clean is the fact that we come there once a month.
Yeah. Heyo.
Otherwise, it
Literally.
would just be a fucking disaster.
Literally. Like, I'm usually, before you guys are coming to record the live episodes, I am cleaning this
It's
room.
not even before; it's
like
during
crazy.
as well.
Sometimes.
we
Yeah,
arrive,
usually the
sometimes
first
I got
hour.
Like,
Yeah. But I've already put the bulk of the embarrassing mess away at that point.
Yeah.
Then it's just like, oh yeah, I got to move some of these organized boxes of cards, and I've already like shoved all the unorganized shit, like, you know, swept it under the carpet as best I
and
can.
Mike, how long would it take you to figure out if you had a dark ritual?
It'd be pretty quick. It would be pretty quick.
Give me a number of seconds. I guess like 15 seconds.
Probably 15 seconds to pull out the black box,
Mm.
and then probably 15 seconds to thumb to D.
How does that make you feel?
But
Sam?
then probably a good minute to filter through the D.
How do you
the
feel when you
cards.
hear that?
Makes me
Your
feel like
shame.
makes me feel like a small man, like a small speck of dust.
Any other feelings?
Oh, it makes me feel fucking salty.
There we go. About fucking
Nice.
time.
But it's a sulky
wait.
salt. It's a sulky salt.
Damn.
What is salt?
What is salt?
Mike, thanks for asking.
You're
No,
welcome.
fucking delete that.
Just
Delete
doing my
everything.
part.
Sam
Just
in the
fulfilling
editing
my
room?
role.
Delete Mike.
Salt is frustration
Delete
in the
me.
game.
No, and you
in the
must thank
studio.
me before you can
Thanks,
move
Mike.
forward.
You're welcome.
I
Thanks, Mike.
literally will not allow this episode to move forward.
Yeah, you have
until
that
you
kind of
say,
power.
Thanks, Tony.
Tony, this episode can't move forward until you put the ball on.
I'll drop balls right now. Don't fucking
put
tell
away.
me.
Whoa.
All right, thanks, Tony.
There you
Salt is frustration in the game, as we like to say. It's anything in a game of Magic the Gathering that's going to get you irritated, grumpy, sulky. Things aren't going your way. Maybe your deck was really poorly built. Maybe there's a power mismatch at the table. Maybe someone in your LGS is being rude or unfriendly, or it's just unwelcoming. It can be the social situations. It can be actual gameplay mechanics, the board states taking place. There's a lot of different types of salt in Magic, and we are here to talk about all of them so that we can learn from it and hopefully not be salty in a future game of Magic. As we like to say, it's an Edge of Magicational podcast.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, indeed. Well, let's jump into it, guys. Give me a search term for our little mind card here. What do we got? What do we got?
Ball.
I was typing it before you even said it.
Nice.
Fucking knew it was coming. All righty.
I bet we'd be really good at that in sync game.
Maybe, dude. You never know. You never
We would
know.
just say ball the whole time.
ball.
And then Tony and I would go and we would just say rope. And I'd be set.
Mike, that doesn't even make sense. You guys would have had to say shoot.
That would be the
No.
category.
No, we would not
That's the
have.
category.
History shows that we do not have to say anything to prompt you saying that, Tony.
No, but you have to prompt me and one of you.
I guess so. All right. This one comes to us from our buddy Savage Galaxy 101, a classic prospector, I think, who's been following us since our Reddit days, since those early days. And this post is titled Fetch Me Some Salt. Me Some
Nice.
Salt is in parentheses, just so you know.
Is that like a miso salt?
Yeah, me some salt.
I mean, that's what I heard too.
Man, we got some miso mayonnaise for Christmas. It's really fucking good. Just got to throw that out there. All right. And the story goes, where did you lose your ball this time, Pako? What? Your ball is stuck down the well? Pako, that's not a well. That's the Howling Salt Mine. No wonder I don't like the well water. Ahoy, miners. I've just gotten back from my LLGS, local LGS, after
Nice.
trying out my new brew, Pako and Halden. I built, man, it's weird when they don't say Halden and Pako. Pako and Halden sounds wrong. Halden and Pako sounds right.
Yeah, though it does sort of put the fact that Paka is maybe the more interesting of the two front and center.
That's
which
true.
I can appreciate.
I guess that's true. But Halden can vote and he pays taxes. So
Yeah, and that's what makes things interesting.
Facts.
I built this deck out of cards I had sitting around, waiting for a home, and figured this would be a great spot for my teamer, rampy, good stuff. I sat down with some folks I know, waited patiently for their existing game to finish. It did take a while. The salty player in question, let's call him Sarkhan, he loves dragons, was dragging the game out with a... Was dragging the game out?
Nice.
With a Time Lord deck. Sometimes time doesn't fly. The game went on for about 40 minutes of making some big creatures and not swinging with them. After a drawn-out finish, we got into the next game. Sarkhan gave us the choice between Dragon and Bellow. The other two players advocated for Bellow, animate artifacts and enchantments, after Sarkhan said it was the easier one to turn off, which is true. Dina was playing Dina, with a plan to gain a bunch of life while we lose life. Riz was playing Riz, making a bunch of tokens.
I appreciate this naming convention.
The game started off simple, slow builds and ramping overall. As the game progressed and I exiled more things with Pako, Sarkhan became more frustrated with my ability to play more cards than he did. Bello was removed once from his board and he didn't attempt to recast for a long time. To note, the only removal I had used on him thus far was an Imprisoned in the Moon that I didn't want to waste after someone else board wiped, so I enchanted Sarkhan's Path of Ancestry, making it only produce colorless. Some turns go by and I have about 13 mana, flash on everything, and a Wilderness Reclamation, so I can cast most of what I exile very easily. Risk scooped after a few turns of not doing much and being overwhelmed by Pako's monstrous crimes. Sarkhan is hoping for one last turn of making an impact. They cast Bellow for the second time this game, followed up with a rolling Ham Sphere, intending to make some blockers as I don't yet have trample or any other evasion on Pako. He moves to combat. In response, I cry out, I tap for one measly blue, a color for trash players, and cast Slip Out the Back, which has been in my pile of exiled cards for quite some time, targeting Bellow, phasing it out. Sarkhan responds by crewing the Ham Sphere, to which I grimly pointed out it doesn't have haste anymore. Sarkhan scoops and complains that I was locking the entire game down and he couldn't play the game at all. I was taken aback. I only used 2 pieces of interaction on him the entire game, one of which was mildly messing with a land. Then it hit me. I was doing too much. I was playing lands, untapping lands, playing cards on my turn, playing cards on their turns, playing other people's cards on their own turns. Even if I didn't directly mess with people's permanents much, I touched more than the average amount of cards that game, and that is my salty crime. And I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for me and my meddling dog. P.S. Blue is a trash color for trash players just like me. Well, thank you, Savage Galaxy. We appreciate the salt.
Yeah.
Mike, do you have Bellow the Bard up, or Bellow whatever the fuck it is?
Oh, I don't. I pulled up the Ham Sphere instead.
If you got the Ham Sphere, I got Bellow. Bellow, Bard of the Brambles, costs 1, a red, and a green. This card's crazy, by the way. Legendary creature, Raccoon Bard. It's a 3/3, and it's got a big fat paragraph on it. During your turn, each non-equipment artifact and non-aura enchantment you control with mana value 4 or greater is a 4/4 elemental creature, in addition to its other types, and has indestructible haste, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card.
Yep.
Insane commander. I think it's one of the more popular Gruul commanders these days.
Yeah. I mean, all the Bloomberg commanders were really popular. And then it has the added benefit of like playing on this axis that a lot of things don't get to play on, where it's like animating artifacts and enabling vehicles and stuff, which Gruul doesn't always get to do, but does in this instance.
And animating enchantments, which is really, really interesting. And the fact that every single one of them gets haste and becomes something that can draw a card is kind of crazy. So what's Ham Sphere do here?
So
Mike?
Ham Sphere is a 4/4 that gets +1/+1 for each hamster you control, and whenever it attacks, you create 3 red hamster creature tokens, and it deals X damage to any target, where X is the number of hamsters you control, and it has crew 3. So it's sort of like a
Mirror Battlesphere, but a Ham
Sphere,
Sphere.
but it's
Yep.
ham. Yeah, exactly.
But it's ham.
But it's ham.
And the hamster on it's Hamtaro.
Oh, dude, I love
No, the
Hamtaro.
hamster on it is like a, you know what a rat king is?
Yeah, I do know what a Rat King
Like
is.
in the Nutcracker?
It's like a rat king.
Or you mean like the ball of rats?
Yeah, I mean the
Yeah.
ball of rats.
Like a true ball of rats from New York or
Yeah.
New Jersey, perhaps.
Right.
I don't know shit about New Jersey, dog.
Yeah, nice. Get him.
Yeah, get his ass. You tell
Yeah.
him, Tony.
Get his ass.
Dumb bitches.
To Savage Galaxy, I think that you pinpointed where the salt is coming from here. It's not that you played too much removal and you were stopping other people from doing their active strategies. It's that you were stealing cards from them and playing their cards. Like, you're not stopping them by countering all their shit and removing all their shit. You're stopping them by just like taking cards out of their deck and using them yourself, you know, which can be pretty frustrating in its own right. I think that like Pako is one of those cards that in a really long game, it almost gets worse because they get so much value off of Pako. Whereas if it's something like a CDH Pako game, like you attack with Pako 2-3 times and then maybe the game is over. But if this is a casual game and you're attacking with Pako 8 times, like this game is going to turn 12 or something, like holy shit, the amount of cards that you have in Exile, it's kind of impossible to track. And it just becomes like very, very overwhelming. Like you even say it in your story, the Riz the Redeemed player scoops because they were just overwhelmed by all the shit that you were doing with Pako.
Yeah. And it's also sometimes gets in a position where like that is the valid thing to do against Pako. Like they might have so many cards and so much advantage. It's all on board. Like it's all visibly there, you know, exiled under Pako. And it's like sometimes, like you said, Sam, tracking that is so impossible. And if you are tracking it, you might just see so much stuff there that it's like, okay, well, even if I draw one piece of interaction, you know, I see the slip out the back, so I know you're going to be okay. Or even if I draw one thing, I see that you exiled a counterspell from your own deck and a counterspell from someone else's deck. So like we are pretty much stuck here. It has that sort of like writing on the wall feeling sometimes because you're getting all of this card advantage in a public and like in a version of public information.
And I think there's another layer of salt when you get got by a piece of interaction that's been in that Pako stack for a long time.
Worst.
And you just like forgot about it or lost track of it because there's so many cards exiled. It just adds so much insult to injury to be like, well, I guess I'll cast this slip out the back that I fucking exiled from your deck, dude. And or something along those lines, you know? You're like, oh, motherfucker. And then on top of that, there's a bit of like a rules actually where someone's like, well, at least I can salvage the situation. I can attack with the ham sphere. And you're like, well, you don't have haste anymore because Bello's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised that Sarkhan was like, I don't really want to play this game anymore after that, especially with another player who's already scooped and kind of like opened the door to scooping. I think once one player scoops in a game, other players start to see it more as like a viable way to end the game, you know?
Yeah. Someone's already dead. You might as well go on to the next game and you can all get that happen if you all concede right away.
I feel like the thing that I resonate the most with is the thing that Mike was saying earlier of like, I see all the things there. You already have interaction in your exile zone and there's like kind of nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
So I think that opens the door even for like, I feel like a casual list of Holland and Pako would really kind of reinforce the I win because you guys concede because I have so much value and you're just kind of sad and annoyed and I've taken your fun toys and you're just kind of upset and I'm not closing the game out super quickly. I mean maybe I am because Pako still gets like pretty fat pretty quick. But yeah, what do we think about the salt rating here on this one?
I'd give this maybe 3 packets of salt. Like, yeah, Halden and Pako, it is a theft deck, but I guess I've just never really seen someone lean into that theft part. You know, our experiences with this is like High Power 4 or Bracket 5, based on what Mike has built in the past. When it swings in CDH and steals something, you're more worried about them getting value and maybe losing a win con versus being like, oh, like one of my precious pet cards has been stolen. But I feel like that probably happens a lot more in casual decks where you're like, oh man, like my Wilderness Reclamation, I really wanted to play that in my Bello deck. You know, you start to like see these cards go away that are favorite pieces of this beloved deck versus in a CDH list, you're like, oh yeah, my tutor, my Birds of Paradise got taken. You know, you're a little less precious with the individual cards.
Yeah, I think you're more worried of like, oh, they've got 2 tutors and 2 counter spells. They're in fucking exile. So
the writing on the wall
effectively drawing 4 cards a turn.
Yeah, it's more of like a value engine, and you're more sweating like what they're creating over there than being like, I'm pissed that you're stealing my shit. You know?
Yeah.
But I like that this was a confessional. I like that you know what you did.
Yeah.
I like that you know that blue sucks.
Well, it's an interesting thing. Like, what do you do in this situation? Do you change your Pako lists to make it a little less aggro? Like, there's a piece of this that we didn't really talk about, which is the fact that they had flash, like a flash enabler, so that they were able to play a bunch of shit on other people's turns.
Yeah.
And I think that that is a very specific type of salt as well. That's like the Seedborn Muse salt in a casual game where people get really tired of you taking up like all of the game
Air
time
in the
equity.
room.
Yeah. like everyone's taking a turn and you're also taking 4 turns in a round.
And then you're doing it with their cards too. So it's like, it feels like you're taking my current turn and you're taking my turn with my cards. It's like extra painful.
So I think you could maybe just like cut the flash out of this and like it would be a lot less salty because that specifically feels pretty rough.
I don't know, but at the same time, then what? Now it's just the same thing, but like I'm not doing it on your turns too. So I'm still taking your stuff. I'm still doing things. And like half the stuff that you exile is going to probably be instant speed anyway. Well, maybe not half, but a bunch of it will be instant speed anyway. If it's moving you closer to your end game, I don't think it's necessary to like start to pump the brakes on it. It's more just like don't play it every time, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this group of people you played it with didn't go great. That's cool. Don't play it with them again. And like play it with other people, like playing other pods or bring it out after some amount of time. But I don't think the answer is always like power it down a little bit because I don't know that that'll necessarily make it less salty.
Yeah, that's kind of like me taking my infinite combos out of Kona. It just made it more insufferable.
Yeah. Because you get to a crazy board straight and then you're just like, oh.
Well, I can't win, so just give me a few more turns, guys.
We'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, I think that's my advice for casual Halden and Pako decks is like they benefit greatly from like 1 or 2 double strike cantrips. Like you're swinging in with an 11/11 Pako and you rip like a double strike off the top of your library and you're like, okay, this damage is actually just going to kill you this time instead.
Yeah. Well, how about a never?
Let's do it. Give me a search term, please.
Drop.
Like it's hot.
Drop. All right, I got a story here. This one comes to us from our buddy, and I do mean our buddy, Eric Number Knower.
Hey, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
I know that guy.
And the story here is titled, "My Dude, You Literally Have to Announce Your Game Actions. I don't know how else to say this." What's up, boys? It's your boy, Eric Number Knower here. He put number in quotes. It's your boy, Eric Number Knower. What do you mean by that? This is a salty one from a while back. The stage, Katsucon, February 2020, board game room. The board game room at this con required you to leave the building and go into the cold outdoors into a separate building that was really sad. And I remember being mad about it. And he sends a picture. And it does look terrible. And then he has a picture of a bunch of tweets that he did complaining about it.
What a gratuitous part of a story.
Yeah, it's like 2 images just to kick it off. And his phone is at 60% when he sent it. And he says, wow, look at these things I was mad about in February of 2020. Don't worry, Eric, from 2020, it gets worse. Anyways, the characters all playing some definition of, quote, CEDH. Me playing Muldrotha. Johnny Joestar playing Bloodpod. Tim Natana, this was 2020. It was different back then. President Valentine playing Teysa or Zov Sion. And Magent playing, honestly, who knows? It was 5 years ago. Get fucked 4th player. Playing in an empty room, things were normal, except that our Teysa player was playing his turns super fast and not announcing anything. I mean, not announcing his phases, his land drops, his attacks, just fully playing on his own silently. When I asked him, hey man, you need to announce what you're doing in case we have interaction, he said, I'll try, and continued not doing that. I was kind of shocked by his response. Anyways, the game was going fine, and he finally grunted out I think that's the win, in the middle of yet another silent turn. We all said, please explain. And he silently took out a Darkest Hour from behind one of his basic lands? That's all in caps. This card makes all creatures black, overwriting their previous identity, and combined with Nantuko Husk and Teysa, gives you infinite sacrifice triggers, giving him the win with a Blood Artist style effect. I think the thing that annoyed me the most about this was that we all know what Teysa does, so we were actively looking out for the darkest hour. We didn't catch it in time because he didn't announce it when he was playing it, and he hid it behind his basic lands, like physically under his stack of lands. Absolute cheaty face rules happening here. I remember trying to explain why this wasn't cool, and the guy just kind of went, well, I win. So I walked out of the empty room and went to go do something else. I feel like I should have put up more of a fight, but I just didn't have it in me. It didn't feel worth it at all to continue interacting with this player. This one still keeps me up at night sometimes. The fact that someone would so obviously play in such an underhanded way and then insist nothing was wrong upsets me so much. Lol. What do you guys think? There's no reading of this that isn't blatantly cheating, right? Rock on, Eric.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, dude. I totally agree. This is something that pisses me off so much, man. Like, sometimes you just got to pretend you're on a gameplay show and you're like, and I play a mountain. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to fucking just like lean into the bit.
I'm pretty scared because he played a mountain in his mountain deck, but like, I think I'll be okay.
A turn one mountain could mean a lot of things coming out of Tony's deck. He could be playing a Ragavan. He could be playing. But seriously, like that's the thing.
Man, I wasn't expecting him to use the lightning bolt on me that turn.
A turn one lightning bolt. Some people might think this is a pretty bad play, but I'm a little suspicious of what Tony has cooking.
But they're forgetting that my name is Bird, and you do have to bolt the bird.
Yeah. A turn one main phase lightning bolt. Yeah, man, you just gotta fucking say your shit. Like, it's not hard. I feel like it's one of the most basic things about playing Magic is say what you're doing as you do it.
Yeah. I think there's also an element of like, if you're not going to do that, you almost have to start expecting people to be like really on your shit about what's on your board all the time. Like if someone ends up, obviously this is someone Eric played with one time, but
yeah,
if this is someone that you play with frequently where they're not announcing stuff or they're like doing skeevy shit, like hiding something behind something else, like you're going to get really adamant about being like, you know, every time something gets cast, like, hey, what's on your board? You know,
yeah,
like needing to follow up every time about it.
So the one thing that I don't think this is how it went down, but the one thing I could imagine is you're at like a convention, it's loud. Maybe the people around you who are playing are like excited about things going on at the convention, this, that, or the other thing. They're like kind of chatting a lot amongst themselves. Because I've been in pods and scenarios where it's like I am trying to do my turn and no one is fucking listening. And eventually I reach a point where I'm like, I just play stuff and I go, when I pass the turn, people are just like, oh, what happened? And then I always tell them. But yeah. I don't think that's what was happening because it's also like what you did the whole fucking game. But sometimes you do get into a scenario where it's like, I've had it when I was like, you know, I'm a few drinks in myself and like everybody, we're just there hanging out, having a good time, drinking beers, and people are just like vibing more than they're playing. And so it's like, I've done stuff, I pass the turn and like, cause just nobody's listening. And I'm trying to be like, I'm playing this thing, and you're like looking around the table because no one's paying attention. Yeah. Because there's almost an etiquette to Magic if it's like, I cast this thing, like it's part of the fucking game, you know? And then everybody like, even if it's just to get everybody to be like, oh, that's cool. Like that's part of it. It's not just like a rules thing. Like you want people to know what you played so that you can be like, look at this cool thing I put in my deck. You know,
I don't think the player hiding it behind a basic land was just like missing.
Now that I totally agree with that. I'm just trying to provide a scenario where that happens to like
it does happen. You're totally right.
Up.
Like I can think of times where like you, me, where the three of us and Nick are hanging out in person and we haven't played together in person in so long that we're just fucking chit-chatting like crazy and someone is just trying to take their fucking turn. And usually eventually the person who's taking their turn will just be like, you guys have to shut the fuck up because I'm casting this stupid spell right now, you assholes. And we're like, oh, sorry.
Well, again, that's the method I think you take. And I tend to be like, I pass my turn. I just do stuff. I like do whatever I'm going to do. And I'm like, I'm done. You go. And then usually somebody's like, okay, cool. And they start to take their turn and they're like, wait, what'd you do?
What'd you do? I think that's the other thing is that like if you are the type of player to not announce things, you should get pretty comfortable with walking shit back because you're going to be asked to do it. And it's sort of on you to be accepting of those walkbacks. Like in this moment where there's a win on the stack, I would be like, okay, we got to walk back to the last spell you cast. Because I'm guessing from the board state, the last spell that they cast was like Nantuko Husk or something, you know? And you have to be like, unless they like really slow played it over a few turns, but like, let's go back to that on the stack. Do we have interaction? Because they could just have it for sure. But you still need that chance.
Yeah. I'm extrapolating, and it's information we don't know, but maybe Eric will just text us if and when he listens to this.
Yeah.
But I would assume that it's like none of them did have interaction for what was happening, but it was kind of this game of like no one was really even on high alert because they didn't know that their pieces were down, so they didn't think they needed to be worried.
That's a very good point.
Which it's like sometimes you start searching for answers more or dealing with things more on somebody's board because you're like, I know you have half of a combo out right now. Right. And so I need to do something or I will lose the game. But
wow, Darkest Hour is a 1 mana enchantment. What a great templating. 1 mana, it just says all creatures are black. That's it. Fucking incredible. I love a simple card like that.
That's why I was down with the basics. You should just fucking know.
Yeah. I think this is something, to your point, Mike, I think this is something that if you have a player like this in a dedicated play group or a pod that you're playing with frequently, over time, this will go away. And if it doesn't, then they truly are doing this to cheat. But I have had friends that when I'm playing Magic with them, they don't announce things, and I got to like stop them and be like, dude, you got to say what you're doing. Not only is it valuable announcing what you're doing to keep other people locked into the game actions, it's also just, you know, how the game should be played.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what do you think about the salt rating here on this bad boy?
This one would make me fucking ballistic, and I would also leave immediately. I think Eric made the right choice to be like, yeah, fuck this. I'm going back to do anything else at the convention.
Yeah.
Like, this sucks.
Yeah.
This game room sucks. This dude here sucks. I just got fucking, you know, he just cheated his way to a win. Well, why? There's no energy that needs to be further invested in that situation. Just bounce. You'll never see that dude ever again.
Yeah. Agreed wholeheartedly.
Well,
third story.
Last one. Yeah, let's do one more.
Give me that sweet little search term.
Mint.
Mint.
Ooh, minty.
Oh, there's one, but we already fucking read it.
Damn it. I was actually going more for like the near mint like condition. You know.
Give me another one, boys.
Midnight.
All right, we going right here, guys. This one comes to us from our buddy, the Crimson Chariot. And this story is a little bit long, so everyone, remain buckled, as we like to say. You are already buckled, as Mike will remind us, the health and safety manager of the
we wouldn't be moving. We wouldn't be moving if you weren't buckled.
But, you know, sometimes after we start to move, I do unbuckle. A little bit. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
I know.
I'm not all right with that.
And this
Promoting dangerous behavior in our prospectus. I'm really not okay with this.
Not in like a real card, though, just in a mind card. In a card, I'm always safe. And this post is titled, Nice Stack You Have There. And the story goes, Greetings, salt bosses of the mine. I bring to you salt from the Midwest from when I forced a friend to scoop by countering his winning move. Strap in because it's rather lengthy. Strap on that ball, Tony. So
strap that ball up.
So
I'm always trapped. You're the one who never is, apparently.
Yeah, true.
So for context, this takes place a few weeks after Final Fantasy release. And
I thought you were about to like for context, you know, when I strap or I don't strap. It's like, I didn't think
I was about to dive into a tangent.
Story. Yes.
So for context, this takes place a few weeks after Final Fantasy release and me being a few months into my new job. My LGS hosts Commander every Friday and Monday, and due to my new job and me running D&D games on those days, it means I don't get to play as often anymore. On Fridays, my D&D game runs until 10, and the shop closes at midnight, Fridays only. Midnight. Leading up to this day, I have had a hankering to play Commander and expressed that to a friend of mine, and this Friday Night Magic, I bring my deck to play after running my D&D session. At the table sits me, Crimson, with a true bracket 4 blinged out the Third Doctor plus Sarah Jane Smith deck that has made Royal Flood proud.
True bracket 4.
Is it Bant? If it makes Royal Flood proud, it's got to be Bant. Mike, can you look those up on the side in case they become important?
Yeah. What were they called? I'm sorry.
It's the Third Doctor and Sarah Jane Smith. And don't be sorry, because it's just like a regular fucking person's name as a card.
Yeah, but it's a magic card, so I should know it.
Shockingly forgettable card names.
Oh, I actually know this one.
Let's just read them right now. Hit us with those.
Yeah, Sarah Jane Smith is 1 and a white. Whenever you cast a historic spell, investigate. This ability triggers only once each turn.
Oh.
It's a Doctor's Companion. It's a 2/1 human detective. And the Third Doctor is 2 green and a blue for a legendary creature, Time Lord Doctor. Trample. The Third Doctor gets +1/+1 for each non-creature token you control. When it enters the battlefield, you create your choice of a clue token, a food token, or a treasure token.
Damn.
So you're playing historic permanents, making clues, making stuff off of the Third Doctor, and then he's getting bigger.
Seems kind of gas.
Yeah, seems cool.
Across from me is Max, veteran player who is that player that has Eldrazi, Slivers, and the Sort, and he's running Zuladoc. He knows he's the target and has accepted his fate. Next to him is Carl, running the snake that makes snakes when you draw cards, drawing a blank for the name.
Xyrus.
That is Xyrus.
Well, when other people draw cards.
And next to me on my right was Andrew, running Coram the Undertaker.
Coram.
Is it Coram? Did I say it wrong?
No, I think it's Coram. It always
just gonna
makes me
say
think of
hardly
the
knew.
coral.
Coram.
Meme, yeah.
Coram. Coral. Our meta tends to run high bracket 3 to bracket 4 most of the time, but we dabble all over. Anyway, the game starts and we all hang in there pretty well, but my deck gets slowed down by poor draws and a Sarah that gets removed early, so I don't set up as well as I would have liked. Meanwhile, Max becomes a problem rather quickly, so I have to, on top of trying to set up, use a lot of my few resources I've drawn to counter some pieces of his mean Eldrazi deck. Eventually, we all get in there and have some established board states, but Max is still a problem, and Andrew is the one furthest behind, but not by much. Max plays a Skittering Cicada and passes, and for 2 turns with Flash on board, does little to flash stuff in. He at some point after or before gets the 1 ring, but gets it up to 4 counters when he plays the new Final Fantasy colorless card lady. I don't remember the name. In truth, barely paid attention to the set, but knowing it would be a huge problem. What the fuck could that card be? Crimson Chariot? What? The Final Fantasy colorless lady? That is a problem, but you don't know what it is?
Yeah, what?
Do we have to search this up now? If it becomes important,
We do
we'll
have
look
the
into it.
technology.
If it becomes important, we'll look into it. In my
Sounds
hand,
like a Google, not a Scryfall to me.
I know. I'm about to Google colorless. Honestly, I'm doing it. I'm Googling.
I bet it's not Ultima, is it? That's not a lady.
I don't. Yeah, maybe it is Ultima.
Is it Ultima a spell?
Ultima is a spell, but in Final Fantasy 16, it became it manifested into a god.
Huh.
I think. I didn't play the game, but I'm inferring this. So we assume it's Ultima, and Ultima is a problem. Whenever you attack, you put a blight counter on target land. For as long as that land has a blight counter on it, lose all land types and only taps for colorless. And whenever you tap a land for colorless, you get an additional colorless. So it's a nice little ramp thing, which is
And
a
that's
problem
in the Zuladoc
Eldrazi.
deck.
Yeah.
So it probably was that.
So they got a 1 ring out, and then they got this Ultima Legend out. In my hand, I have a few cards like a Swords to Plowshares, Dovin's Veto, and Counterspell, and Reverse the Polarity. This is a secret tool that will help us later. So he goes on to do something. I don't remember what. I think he passes phases. And I go to Swords, the Colorless Lady. And he casts a Counterspell in colorless. I try to Dovin's Veto it, but he does something. Oh, gosh. You don't remember a lot of this Crimson Chariot. I'm just going to sum this up because you're saying he does something, and I don't remember what it is, but I counterspell it. A bunch of spells flash around, and you burn a ton of your interaction. And then you cast a bunch of things with instant speed with Cicada. I'm like, cool, you've cast 4 spells. Are you holding priority as you keep casting? Max says yes, and keeps drawing cards, removing our boards with on-cast effects from the newest Ugin from the Tarkir set that he had out prior to starting his Flash shenanigans.
Nice. Great Ugin.
After you cast 10 more cards, I ask again, are you holding priority while casting all this? And he again responds with yes. He keeps going on until he has almost his whole library on the stack, with me during the whole process asking him several more times, are you holding priority while this is all going on the stack? And being told yes. I see where this is going.
Yeah, me too.
Once he is done, I ask, are you doing anything else? And Max responds, no, I'm done, with an empty hand and 3/4 of his library on the stack. So I say, I tap 3 mana and cast Reverse the Polarity, countering all other spells on the stack. I guess I didn't see where this is going.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be a
fucking-
mind break trap.
I thought it was going to be a mind break
Same
trap.
shit.
What does reverse polarity do?
It just counters all other spells on the stack.
Oh, okay. That's hot.
Rather than exiling them.
He stayed quiet. Andrew got up in surprise and amazement. Carl was just sitting there and grabbed the spell I just cast, and Max sat there, both hands at his sides, as he looked at the board and what his hubris and greed had wrought upon his colorless self. After some clarification, he said, I scoop, not realizing that he would be the only one with permanence after it all resolved, since he had exiled our boards with Ugin and therefore still had a win to go for himself. But he was salted, and his Eldrazi were annihilated by a simple, I countered your whole stack spell, with the cost of 3 simple mana. He picked up his cards and said GG and left, visibly upset and defeated that all his efforts were for naught, and he just spent 15 minutes casting spells just to end his turn back at the same board state it was at the beginning of the game, except with most of his library gone to the graveyard. And that is how I managed to counter 30-plus card stack of his deck, worth probably $3,000 with a single $5 card.
Incredible.
Well, thank you, Crimson Chariot. This is a unique and great salty moment. I gotta say, when you're doing stuff and an opponent is repeatedly asking you like a very specific question, alarm bells should be going off, you know?
Though in this instance, it could be something of like, oh, is it my turn to play something? You know, like maybe they have interaction, and so they're asking if you're doing it with all this on the stack, and you think it's like a swords to plowshares or something. You think it's some kind of interaction that you want to be stacking all of this up for before they like remove your Ugin or something that's doing all this stuff. So like there are worlds where this one would trigger your alarm bells in a way that you think you're actually being smart by continuing to do it. So.
For sure.
Well, because it's so rare. There are not many spells in Magic that do this effect of like all of the things that you have on there are now fucked, right? It's like more common that it's like this one thing that you have, I'm interacting with this one piece, not everything on the whole fucking stack is now borked, get wrecked.
Yeah, there's a few.
It's really like this and Mind Break Trap, and then like maybe one other that I'm not thinking of.
Summary Dismissal. Whirlwind Denial is pretty good.
Okay, so in the 30,000 plus cards, there's 4.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying. It's like you don't come across this often, and even more so, like I feel like people don't run that many of this effect in their decks. Period.
Yeah,
obviously in CDH you see it a lot, but in like more casual things, like you don't really see it as much.
Well, you see it a lot in CDH, like exclusively on Mind Break Trap too. It's like not like there's a lot of them
because it's free. But like in a casual list, it's very rare that having a spell that counters multiple spells on the stack is useful, because you just don't get as many stack battles, and you really don't get situations like this where people are loading the stack up with spells before they let it resolve. Like the things that come up in casual that do this are like Mizzix Mastery. You know, it's like really kind of the only thing I can think of.
It requires someone to know like a bunch of rules too. Like it requires them to know that you can hold priority and keep doing stuff like this too, which not everybody does. So like in very casual games, you're not even going to see this like come up.
Definitely.
I bet it felt pretty good though.
Oh, I bet it felt fucking crazy, man. And honestly, I bet for the Zuladoc player, it felt pretty good until it got fucking countered too.
Right.
You're like, and I cast this, and I exile that, and I cast this, and I exile that. Like, I think I would also scoop.
Oh, I for sure would scoop too. Even I wouldn't even be getting to the point of like, oh, I could still have a win on board or something. I'd just be like, it's gone. Everything's gone.
I think
Although
it would
I'm
be a
surprised
shame
they didn't
scoop.
have like even one Shuffle Titan that would just like get the mothership back. But like, it's just brutal to go through all that and then be like, okay, I'll just go fuck myself instead. Actually,
Yeah, but like Crimson Chariot is right. They definitely still had the win because no one had any board state after like such a crazy storm turn.
it doesn't like feel like it anymore though. You know, like
Oh yeah, for sure.
the wind has been taken right out of your sails, and
Right.
even though like you have a win technically, or maybe even easily, it just doesn't feel good anymore. So
Yeah.
in those moments, that's when I'm like, yep, I scoop. I think I've had something similar-ish happen where I've gotten totally blown out on something, and I still probably could have won. I was like, I don't care. I'm just done.
Yeah, you're like scooping for mental health reasons. You're like,
Yes.
I just need to take a sick day.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, what do we think about the salt rating here on this one?
Man, if I was the Zulu Doc player, I'd be so sad. I'd be so fucking sad. And if I was Crimson Chariot, I'd feel like a fucking god, man. That one spell, it's just
as it just keeps getting worse too. You're just watching it happen, and you're like, still holding priority.
Yeah,
I've said it before, but I really should look at the Doctor Who cards. I'm so turned off by the flavor of them, but there's some fucking bangers in there, man.
Yeah, there are.
If I could get like cool reskins of, Doctor 3 and Sarah, generic ass cards. If I could get cool reskins of those, like I would fucking play the shit out of those. Sounds dope.
Well, Sam, is it that time of the week?
Tony, I think it is that time of the week.
Oh shit, baby. Well, lay it on me. What time is it?
It's the time of the week that comes every week.
Every motherfucking week, baby.
It's the time of the week. It's the time of the week where we say, What's the salty card of the week?
Salty card of the week this week is
I'm so salty, I'm so bored. My hand is awful and I'm in seat 4. I'm top decking ass, so I just draw and pass. Get fucked, get fucked, get fucked, get fucked, get fucked.
Yeah.
I bet the Java Jive stuck in my head for like 2 days.
We know.
That's a good song.
So
We just learned.
That's the Java Jive about getting fucked as the fourth player. Yeah, there's a song that's on Evelyn's Tubby Time playlist on Spotify that like at one point sounds so close to the Java Jive. And I can't sing along without jumping right into the Java. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
I know what
Caroline
you mean.
didn't fucking know about that song until today. She was like, "What is that song you're singing?" And I was like,
I do feel like it's like isn't I don't know. What do you know it from?
I know it from Barbershop, to be honest.
I know it from singing as well.
I feel like it's a very classic high school jazz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like mini ensemble sings the Java Jive.
Yes.
It's from like 1940. It was sang by the Ink Spots.
Yeah, it's quite old.
Yeah, it's an old song for sure.
It's an older model, but it checks out.
The Java Jive lyrics are, let me look them up.
They're a jive.
One sec, because there's this one line. This is it. Oh, sip me a slug from that wonderful mug, and I'll cut a rug till I'm snug in a jug.
Yeah, dude.
I love that one.
They're just
That
picking
song is
things that
so
rhyme.
good.
And just saying
Slip me a slug of that coffee. Slip me a slug from that wonderful mug. I need to like incorporate that into my everyday parlance a little bit more. Whenever someone gives me a little sip of something tasty, I got to be like Tony and we hung out the other day and we were drinking Amaro and stuff and doing a bunch of tastes. I should have said, slip me a slug from that wonderful mug.
You should have.
It was a missed opportunity. For sure.
It truly was.
Well, thanks, Sam. That was a lovely salty song.
Thanks, Mike.
The salty card of the week this week is Grand Abolisher.
Oh, my buddy, my good
You know him, you
chum.
love him. You're silent little guy.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tony? Does Grand Abolisher make you salty?
You gotta read it. You do gotta read it.
Fine.
We all know
I'll
what it
read
does.
it.
We all know.
I'll read it.
Wait,
If you don't know it,
it's 2 white. It's a human something. It's a 2/2, and it says,
it's a cleric, buddy.
Yeah.
"Oh, it is a cleric." Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, during your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. It's a
Mm,
2/2.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the only thing about this card that makes me salty is that Sam thought he could read it and couldn't. But outside of that, it's interesting because my first interaction with this card was in my old kitchen table Magic days,
Really?
where I had a white weenie deck, and I just had these. I had like 4 of them or something, and I put them in there, and it had nothing to do with the actual usable ability on this card that is like super powerful and potent. It was literally just because I was like, oh, there's a white tutu. I'll put it in my deck and I'll boost it up with enchantments and things. Like,
Of course.
literally why I had it in the deck, no thoughts. And then years and years later, when I went and I was actually playing Commander, and then this card, I remember this card being like not that much, and then over time it's just grown and grown and grown in like use and popularity, and now I think it's like $20 or $30 for one of these fucking things, or it used to be. It's gotten a bunch of reprints too, so it could be lower again. But I remember a point when I was like, it's like $20 for one of these fucking things. I've got 4 of those sitting in my white weenie deck, and so I pulled them out. But to be honest, it's hard for me to find this card salty because I almost exclusively play it. And when it does come out, it's against Sam's Marath, and I'm like sad about it because I knew it was coming. But usually I'll be like, I'll tell people, I'll be like, yeah, he's just tutoring for a 2-cost creature. Gee, could be a fucking Grand Abolisher, and then you lose the game. So sometimes you want to counter the thing that they tutor. Sometimes you want to counter the fucking tutor, because that's the real way to like play this card. Like, you just put it onto the battlefield.
Expel green tutor, put it right on the fucking battlefield, and fucking, if you got the spare mana, make X 3 or 4 and really fucking throw people off.
Yeah, so that they don't know what it is. No, for sure. And they think you're getting something else, and you just get that. I think that this card is honestly almost kind of fair now, because you see it in, I mean, certainly compared to some of the reprints as of late, that maybe don't have all of the things stapled to it that this card has, like protection from on a given turn. But like, the white is kind of hard, because white is usually more of a splash color in all of these like CDH decks, where I see it the most. And it's less of like, this is the most important color in this deck. And so white is certainly more challenging than a colorless and a white, like Voice of Victory is, for a similar effect. Not the same, but like people are using it the same way effectively. So it doesn't really make me overly salty, because I think I'm aware of it, and I like to use it myself. And it feels very white. So like, I like that it like fits its own like kind of color pie. I think of all these effects in like the white pie. So I just kind of like the card, and I bet it's in the top fucking 100 too.
Nice. Sam, what do you think about this one? We heard a little bit, but would it make you salty?
Very similar to Tony. This is a card that does not bring me any salt. I mean, it's like, when it comes down and you can't interact with it, you just know that the game's probably going to end, whether it's coming down on your board or an opponent's board. It's just a fantastic card. It's really, really powerful. But I also don't think that it like is a menace at a casual table. Like, I look at this card and I'm like, yeah, it's strong. It does protect.
Totally
the
not even
con.
useful at a casual table.
But at most casual tables, if you're not playing this on the turn you're winning and you're putting it down early, you are giving people a window to still interact, because the game isn't so deep on the stack like how it is in CDH when you're playing at a casual level. Bracket 4 for sure. I'm sure this is strong at bracket 4. But even in those really strong, highly optimized tune decks, it's probably playing more similar to how it plays at a CDH table, which is just, it's a strong protection piece, and you got to keep an eye out for it. And if you can counter it, you should. Usually if it's at a bracket 4 table, you probably have the interaction to deal with it too. So I don't think it brings a lot of salt. I don't see it bringing me a lot of salt really ever. The activated ability piece is a bummer. As someone who plays a deck that has, as someone who plays multiple CDH decks that have a lot of activated abilities I want to be using, like, not only does this stop Marath from interacting, it also shuts out Sisse from like doing a lot of stuff. But I think it is a pretty fair card. It's kind of like the poster child for like creature silence effects. I think the thing that truly makes me salty about it is that I can never fucking remember the name of this card, and I always want to call it Grand Arbiter. Like literally every time I'm talking about this, I think I'm like, what is that card called again? It's the 2/2 that stops everyone from casting things. There's something broken in my brain, and I can't remember this, and I always want to call it Grand Arbiter.
I've called it Grand Arbiter way too many times.
Same. I'm sure I've done it on this show like hundreds of times. But yeah, it doesn't really make me salty. I love this card. It's fantastic. And I'm lucky to play in a deck where the double white pip doesn't really bug me too much, but I totally agree with what Tony was saying. Some decks can't hang with that. How about you, Mike?
I resonate with a lot of what you guys said. It's sort of a great role filler, and it does this. It's emblematic of this effect, like you said, Sam. And I think that it's important for white to have this.
I think actually I said that, but that's cool. You can give Sam the credit.
Yeah, I mean,
Thanks, Mike.
Sam,
Thanks,
I
Mike,
think
dude.
just in general, all your points about all the places that we see it, all very good.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, and I think, what did Tony say about it? Was there anything useful?
Tony just kind of opened his mouth and produced a fart sound for
And
2
just
to
went,
3
"Aw."
minutes.
Yeah.
If the people could hear me leave a Zoom call, I would have.
Yeah, he's scooping. He's scooping.
But I do think there's been a number of situations where this card has gotten me really, really salty. And there's two versions of it. One is me having it out and feeling like I'm perfectly safe. There's nothing that interact with me, and there's no chance that I can lose from here. I have a Grand Abolisher out, and then it getting auto-warred. That's one instance where I'm like, ugh, I hate this. What do you mean this can still get
It is one of the
interacted with?
one things.
Yeah, you feel fucking bulletproof with this out, and then someone's like, here's a little channel land, and you're like, fuck these stupid channel effects.
Yeah. And then I think the other scenario that this card has gotten me extremely salty and has happened way more often than it should is in a CDH game where we're like going into someone's turn and there's someone that's super threatening on board. They've just drawn like a bunch of cards or something. They have a big board state. They're really well positioned to win. And someone is like, don't worry, I got them. I'll stop them. It's going to be okay. And I'm like, okay, great. Like someone has an answer for this. And then we're going into their upkeep or we're about to like end the turn before theirs and they have a Grand Abolisher out. And then I'm like, okay, what are you going to do? And they're like, nah, we have to go to their turn. And I'm like, what do you mean? They have a Grand Abolisher out. If that happens, we're going to die. And then the person is like, oh.
Oh, I can't save us, actually. Sorry, guys.
I can't save us. That has happened too many times to me. It's not like a ton, but it's enough that it's been seriously frustrating before.
I think those have happened a few times when I was the one with the Grand Abolisher too, and I like it.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's like you can even point it out too. Sometimes you'll be like, hey, okay, they have a Grand Abolisher. You're going to be able to deal with it, right? And they're like, it's going to be fine. And then it's
Get to the turn and they go to cast something, and you're like, no, you can't. And they're like, what?
Yeah. They're like, okay, well, I'll counter it. And you're like, no, you will not counter it.
You can't do shit,
You were the
dumbass.
chosen one. I thought you had Otawara. You're supposed to remove the Grand Abolisher, not get stuffed by it. Terrible.
I gotta say, like, Tony, you mentioned like Green X Tutor bringing out Grand Abolisher. My favorite Grand Abolisher, like my favorite time to play a Grand Abolisher, turn 1 or turn 2 Grand Abolisher. Like the slow play Grand Abolisher where you play it and the only other thing you have is a Llanowar Elf and you tap out to play the Grand Abolisher, but people are still setting up and they don't have any response and they're just like, all right. And then you just have a Grand Abolisher the whole game.
Yes.
And it's just
It's almost more potent.
almost forget about it. And then they're like, well, he does have a Grand Abolisher going into his turn.
Or they'll
Feels
be like,
incredible.
He didn't win last turn, and he had a Grand Abolisher last turn, so it's
What's he
probably
going to do?
fine.
Play like another Birds of Paradise? Oh, I love that feeling where you're just like, yes, fall into the false sense of security.
It really is like so amazing. That is, I would agree with you that is my favorite time to be like playing one of those.
It feels so fucking good.
Yes.
Well, Mike, where does this fall on the top 300 salty cards?
Wouldn't you like to know, Sam?
I really would.
Why don't you take some guesses? For the listener at home, this is the part where we guess. You got to write this down. Text your mom a random number between 0 and 300.
And then send us the screenshot.
Yeah,
as
and send us the
proof.
screenshot. Do something so that you can get a guess down here and participate at home. Leave it in the comments. Leave a review with just an arbitrary number. Anything that you can think of, do that.
Yeah, leave a comment on episode 1 of the Howling Salt Mine with your guess.
All right.
I have a guess. I'm ready.
I do as well.
Hit me with them.
My guess is 123.
Oh, mine's 35.
35?
Sam takes it.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I thought
It is
people would be upset by this card.
225.
Wow,
225.
really? Damn. Like it's one of those weird things where I was trying to metagame it almost of it's like I feel like people get frustrated by this for some of these exact things we were talking about. So I just thought it was gonna be like way higher on the list than it like should be. Like I'm kind of happy to lose this one for once where I'm like, it shouldn't be in the top 100.
Right.
I agree. I think it's one of those things where like maybe in prior years it was higher on the list.
I'm not gonna lie. I also feel like I've remembered it being on the list at some point.
Yeah, like for a while, Grand Abolisher was like one of the only creatures with a silence effect this potent stapled to it. And now we have so many more. I mean, you mentioned Voice of Victory. Kutzel is also one if you're in green and white. And then, of course, Ranger Captain Avios is a classic. So there's just a lot more of these silence effects getting printed. And I think because of that, players are getting a little numb to them. And also, like I said, I think that there just aren't the menace at a casual table that you would think. And casual salt is typically what drives the salty score.
Definitely. Well, that wraps it up for the salty card of the week. Thanks for playing.
Thanks, Mike. That was a lovely salty card. And thank you to all of our lovely prospectors out there for tuning in to another episode of the Howling Salt Mine. And you know we get a shout about our Salt Packet Plus tier members. And this week we have Swankup, Bobo Fett, Clearbrook, D. Beeson, Rothbox, Captain Cross, Sire Speedy, Thoughts Miss Brian, Doug's Dad, Bark Bark, Elgo Fogel, Pez, Gilgamesh, and The Quiet One. Thank you all for your support. We really appreciate it. If you want more Howling Salt Mine in your life, folks, you know where you got to go. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Howling Salt Mine. It's a great time. We have a really awesome Discord community on there. We're doing once a month Patreon game nights on there, which are super, super fun. You can play with us and with all of the fantastic people in the mine. And we also have like things I haven't shouted at in a while. Our decklist forum. It's where people post the decks that they're brewing. You can show off a deck if you just want to brag about it. You can be looking for brewing advice, comments, all that kind of stuff. We have CDH leagues that are ongoing. We have one that's wrapping up right now, and we'll probably be kicking off the next CDH league, I don't know, sometime in the next couple months. Who knows? We have some lovely prospectors that organize that for us. So there's also tons of other fun things in there. You want to chat about video games, you want to show off pictures of your pets, you want to talk about board games, books you love to read. There's a little bit of everything. So check it out. It's a really good time. If you want to chat with us, that's the place to do it. Another way that you can help us out is to send us your salty stories. We have a form on our website that you can fill out, and you can find that at howlingsaltmine.com or thehowlingsaltmine.com. Or you can also email us directly at our Gmail, which is thehowlingsaltmine@gmail.com. As always, we're inconsistent with the. So, it's thehowlingsaltmine@gmail.com. But the other ones are howlingsaltmine.com. You get used to it over time, guys. It makes, to us, it makes sense.
Really getting
to us, it makes sense. Another way you can help us out is give us a 5-star review in your favorite podcast app of choice, whether that is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever. We're hoping to hit 2,000 5-star reviews by the end of this year.
By the end of this month, baby. What are you even talking about?
By the end of this month?
Fucking make it happen, people.
Oh my God, Tony.
Don't give them too much time. It's just like homework. If you give them till next year, then they'll wait till next year to do
it. Okay, that's fair. But let's say March. Let's say March. Yeah. We will not hit that goal, but maybe we will. But yeah, we'd love to see those numbers pumped up. Spotify is the flagship for our show. It's where we have the most listeners. It has a fantastic algorithm that does push our show to so many people that listen to other Magic the Gathering content. It's how we found a lot of our listeners. And honestly, it's just been a great platform for us for so many years. So we really appreciate the folks that are listening there. But hey, every listener matters over in the mine. Also, find us on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok for our shorts content that we're putting out. I got a new organizational system in place. So we're looking to put out a little bit more of that stuff in the coming months. So keep an eye on that. Another way that you can help support us is to check out our merchandise. We have our shirts over on our Bonfire website. We have our custom Dragon Shield sleeves on the Dragon Shield website. And you can also use our affiliate code, which is Stay Salty, all one word, all lowercase, if you want to get 5% off your purchase at checkout. And you can also get our playmats over at jankmats.com. All the links for this stuff are in the show notes of our podcast, as they have always been. Every once in a while, someone's like, how do I find these links? Baby, you got 187 different places where those links are listed right now. You can find them, I bet. I believe in you. Gosh, even more than that because we're on so many platforms. Those links are fucking all over the internet, man. Last but not least, we got to shout him out, our buddy Devin Burnett, for giving us our beautiful podcast art that we rock every single week. If you're ever in Asheville, North Carolina, hit him up and get a tattoo because he's a really cool guy.
10,000 subscribers are bust.
Indeed. Thanks again, everybody. And as always, stay salty. And don't forget to draw an additional card during your draw step.
It's the howling song night. The howling song night.
Well, welcome back, everyone, to another. Well, that's not it. That's not how it
the way to
starts.
start 2026
That's not
right
it.
there.
That's not it. So that hopefully we can to learn. So
Oh.
so
So how
so
have
so-
you ever
so drop
Like it's
Stop.
hot.
drop
Roll.
shut them down, open
Oh.
up shop.
Whoa.
Whoa. That's how Rough Riders go.
I was going for the safety aspect.
First, you got to rock. Then you got to roll.